What is up, everybody? Johnny Disc Golf back with another interview. This time, I am joined by the NorCal legend himself, Mr. James Proctor. How you doing, buddy?
Doing well, Corey. How are you?
I'm doing good, dude. It is basically the 2025 season. We're recording this like 8 days before someone will be crowned champion at the first event of the year. The offseason always goes so quick, but question for you, how's it been? I know you're somebody who doesn't like to grind and play a ton over the offseason.
Yeah, it was good. It definitely went by quick. The rest of the 2024 calendar year, I was helping out at the school I used to teach at, so that was keeping me super busy. I didn't play a whole lot of golf in November and December, hardly at all, probably in December. And
That's
then,
on brand.
yeah, it was, I mean, it's a nice break. It's a lot of golf
Yeah.
throughout the season, so that's
Uh-huh.
kind of the goal. And then usually I try to ramp it up January, February. I spent most of January doing lessons, which was a lot of fun for me. And about half the time we were just doing field work, but the other half we were playing rounds. So I got a little practice in January, and then once February hit, then it was kind of time to start focusing on my game.
Honestly, thank you so much for bringing that up. That's something I really did want to touch on is, from my understanding, it's a pretty new venture. I'm sure you've done a little bit of coaching, a little bit of tips, that sort of thing in the past, but talk to me about scaling that up a little bit. What's that been like? I'm assuming everyone's cool. It's generally how disc golfers are, but how's it been?
It's been a little bit kind of hectic, I think, for someone who's not like the most organized.
Yeah, I believe
So,
that.
I was like last year I did some just through Facebook Messenger and Instagram Messenger,
Mhm.
but it was hard to remember who booked who and what app did they use and timing and then the reschedules and all of this. And so this season I used an app called Calendly, which
Okay.
was recommended by a friend for, any sort of business meetings, lessons, anything. It can be used for anything, but it did help me stay a little bit more organized. I just posted it in my local club page and then the San Francisco club page,
Hmm.
and you can kind of set your own availability. And yeah, I mean, it definitely helped, uh, myself stay more organized. And I think it was probably more user friendly for the people booking the lessons as well. And yeah, I really enjoyed it. I think, I don't think I'm the best coach out there, but I know a little bit about what I'm talking about. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Well, you're a teacher by trade. I mean, part of it is in you, but I hear you as well, though. I think a lot of the pros or a lot of elite level anything, you get half of the people are very much thinking about process and that sort of thing, and other people are like muscle memory and
Yeah.
just feel it. And I think that you probably slide into that second group. Is that true at all?
That is very true. I mean, I learned disc golf, early 2000s when the only YouTube video I remember was like Dion Arlen throwing at D-Glow up the toboggan. But I mean, other than that, like I developed my throw all based on feel. No one had
Hmm.
phones and no one was filming and slow-mo, and like that just wasn't a thing. And so um, I've tweaked things in the more recent times, but the main kind of parts of my throw is all just based on feel.
Yep.
Yeah.
Is this something that you could see being sustainable after the touring days? Let's be real, it's not going to be a forever thing that you're going to be on tour for 8 months out of the year. Is this something that you would like to scale up when you're home? Or is this strike while the iron's hot? You've got a brand right now and you're just kind of leaning into it.
That's interesting. I don't know about scaling it up. I think so I was trying to do like 2 lessons a day, Monday through
Mm-hmm.
Thursday, so 8 lessons a
Mm,
week.
that's
And
big.
that was a lot. And
Yeah.
at times I would get tired, I would get a little burnt out. And I would not want to do any more than that. I think it's something, honestly, when I'm done touring and I find whatever I want to do that makes me happy, I think the lessons will always kind of be a side gig.
Yeah.
A couple
Yeah.
lessons a week. Like I'll still know what
Yep.
I'm talking about. I might not be on the road, but
Yeah.
I think offering lessons is it's something I want to keep doing, but definitely not scale up.
Sure. Okay, I buy that totally. Just a nice little slice of the pie.
Exactly.
Um, I want to touch on. I want to get to the 2024 season. A lot of highlights in there for you. Some lowlights, but a lot of
Yeah.
highlights. Um, Before we deep dive into the pro season, though, I've talked a lot of crap on this on in media in general to you specifically about the most important tournament I would say of the season, the NorCal Team Invitational, and I just want to take a moment to give you your due. We did play in the championship. You whooped up on us. Kudos. How did that feel, and where does that rank? Career performance wise.
It felt like a giant monkey off the back, So backstory, our team, and I don't know a lot of the other guys on the other teams, but I know our team and I know how it looks on paper. And in my head, we're always the favorites. And this event's been going on for like what, 8 years? And I
Mm-hmm.
think we've made the finals. There's what, 12 teams, 16 teams, top four make the finals. We've made the finals every year, all 8 years, and never won. And so, um, yeah, we had a stacked team. We brought in some ringers. This year just felt like as long as we didn't totally get in our own heads, like no one was going to beat us. And
Yeah.
so it's like, I it it was satisfying. It was satisfying to beat you. You've beaten us probably at least twice.
Yeah.
But it's also like I can't do that much shit talking because it took us 8 years to win the damn thing.
I know. I know. I
Um,
know. It's a
so
bittersweet feeling. It's a bittersweet for sure.
if we win next year and we go back to back, then that might feel pretty good. But winning that one was like, okay, yeah, we were supposed to win
Yep, you did the dang
it.
thing. Well,
Yeah,
congrats on doing the dang thing. I know it meant a lot to you and a lot of the UFOs out there.
yeah.
Everybody's been, uh, you know, everybody looks forward to that tournament every year, and,
Oh,
and people from
so
across the
fun.
country just, maybe in the New England, like the New England Team Challenge, they get that whole. But I think a lot of people don't understand how fun team golf is, and I
Hmm.
can't wait to get back and do our best to whoop up on you next year. But
Yeah.
it's always fun. So congrats, kudos.
Thank you.
Um, 2024 pro season though, a lot of lows or a lot of highs for you, some lows. Um, Talk about the season overall. How'd you feel like it went holistically for you?
At the first half of the season, it was a lot of questioning, a lot of looking for answers, a lot of chasing my success from the 2023 season. There was just a lot going on, sort of internally, and so it's almost strange looking back now and saying, yeah, 2024 was a success. It was the best season I've had because that was a large part of it that was like,
Yeah,
oh my goodness. But yeah, I think, the three big wins or highlights for me just so far outweighed any of the lows.
yeah,
I got married in May, and that was, just the absolute best day of my life. It was so fun. And then going over to Europe, getting the win at Swedish Open
hmm
was sort of one of those weeks where you just feel in control, which was almost a little bit strange because I
yeah,
felt out of control for so much of that season.
hmm
But I think that course reminded me of like, Lake Tahoe golf that I'm very familiar
mm.
with.
I could
And
hear. I hear that. I hear that.
yeah, I mean, it was a really, really fun course, but it just felt sort of manageable. Um, and then, going into that last round, playing with three Europeans who I had played with that week and maybe one or two of them before, but I kind of was able to, in my head, sort of like treat it like an A tier. Like,
Yeah,
you're better than these guys. There's nothing to really fear. Like, go out, take control. Like, you've won an A tier before, you know how to do that. And so I almost kind of in my head, I was thinking that way. And, that last round went totally smooth and I took it down and that definitely gave me some confidence and yeah, then the second half of the season, I started playing a little bit better. I played well at Worlds. I think I played well at D-Glow
hmm
and then played horrible at Maple Hill. I mean, I'm sorry, in Vermont.
yeah,
Missed cash. and then really kind of had to think back on, okay, where am I finding success? Like, what do I need to change going into Maple Hill? Because I'd never really done that great at Maple Hill, and I know that course is tough. And so I kind of took all expectations out the window and just tried to go back to being like, super simple
Mm-hmm.
and no bogeys, get birdies when you can, throw decent, and then yeah, Maple Hill happens. So um, yeah, all in all, 24 was a career year for me, and it was it's interesting. It's 2023 was full of consistency, was full of really, really great play, a bunch of top tens, but no like super high highlights.
Mm-hmm.
And then just the contrast of going into 2024, and I don't even think I had a top 10 until I went to Europe. Um, and
Yeah, and then it
so,
was 1, 2, 3. I mean,
and
I
then
think it was like
yeah,
third, second, first, like
it
right
was
off there. Yeah.
second. Yeah, I lost an E-class by one at Turku, and then
Yeah.
I got third at Ale, and then I won Swedish, and then
Mm-hmm.
snagged a couple more top tens and another win the second half of the season. So yeah, it was definitely an interesting year, but I feel like I kind of learned a lot about myself and what I need to do to try to be successful.
No, I actually really and I really appreciate what you said about kind of throwing all expectations out the window for MVP. I've heard the phrase like expectation is the killer of joy, like
Hmm.
that whole thing. And when I think of your game, I think like when you when you don't have the expectations, when you're just feeling it and trying to have a good time out there, like that's when you play the best. So like it totally makes sense when I hear you say I just threw all expectations out. I looked at the stats from 2023, 2024. MVP, and you mentioned Deglow as a tournament that you did really well in. Those are the two tournaments you did not cash in 2023.
Hmm.
I don't know if you've put this together, but like what changed, if anything? Is it just like the field is incredibly good, so a few throws here and there is the difference between vaulting you in those positions? Um, did you notice anything different from year to year?
I think 2023 to start the year. Um, I'm pretty sure I had never played Waco. I had never played the Austin course. I had never played Jonesboro. All of these
So it
courses
was fun.
I was going to for the first time. I was having
Mm-hmm.
fun learning the course. I was fearless. I was really just enjoying myself. And like, it's funny. You play good one week, you get a good finish, vibes are good. You get a nice check in the mail. You go to the next week feeling good, practice rounds go well, and you just start rolling. And vice versa, you miss cash one week, you're like extra focused the next week, got to do it. It's just different vibes. And so 2023, I think I just got off to a good start and I felt comfortable and confident in my game and I was just rolling. And then, yeah, 2024, you play one tournament, you get 23rd, and you're like, okay, that was just a warm up. Play the next tournament, I think I got 24th or whatever. And I'm like, okay, like I'm close, but where's those top tens at? What am I doing wrong? And then the next tournament, and then you're like, okay, what's going, it just kind of starts to snowball. And so, um, yeah, I mean, it's a lot of it, I think, is the freedom to just go out there
Yeah.
and throw. The
Yeah.
courses we play, it's really easy to fall into traps, both mentally and physically,
Mm-hmm.
um, and sort of get out of your comfort zone or you know divert from your game plan. And that's stuff I wasn't doing in 2023 that I found myself doing early
Mm,
2024. Um, and yeah, I think really kind of looking at myself and realizing when I play my best is when I am playing free and loose and kind of learning to play for myself and my expectations and not necessarily let any of the outside noise or media or any of that kind of creep in.
yeah.
Um, I think that was kind of a big lesson for me to learn in 2024.
No, I love it. I think it's important, like especially in the game of golf. It's like it's such a between the ears game.
Hmm.
Especially at your guys' level, everyone has the skills to throw all the shots. So, um, love to hear it. Uh, Last kind of thing I wanted to touch on last year is when I and maybe I'm biased, right? Because I think of the people I'm friendly with more than people I'm not. But like when I think of last year's season, I mean, the iconic image to me is you running in that putt in Maple Hill. Unfortunately, you had a big old LA hat on your head, and that is like a very triggering. Where's the hat? I notice you're not wearing it now. Did you do something with it? Or are you bringing it back this year? Where's the hat at?
The hat is sitting with all my other hats on top of my closet, and it's
Okay.
funny. I went out, so you know, I'm not sure like when I started wearing the LA hat, like the first tournament or whatever, but um, my wife is social media and marketing, and after
Hmm.
that, all the flack I get from the Bay Area, and great putt, forget the hat, all she's like, you got to wear a Dodger hat every round you play now, like with your
It's your
engagement
thing.
and just
Yeah.
yeah. And so I think Lids had the Black Friday sale. I went out and bought like four more Dodger hats, different colors to wear with different outfits. So you're going to
Okay.
be seeing a lot more Dodger hats this year, that's for sure.
Yay. Yay. I'd like it to be known you made it on the Kiss Cam for the Giants, and I sent you the
Did
picture, and you were wearing all Giants gear, man. So you're a turncoat, man. It's just how it is.
I had to borrow it from a friend. Um,
Yeah, okay.
it's so that kiss cam, man, it's so funny. Like you kind of forget about it. Like they do it at the basketball games,
Mm-hmm.
and then they're doing it at the Giants game. This was a long time ago, but you're like watching the screen, like, oh, that's cute, oh, that's funny, and then you're like, oh shit, that's me. What do I do now? And then you go kiss your wife. But
Yeah.
yeah, that was fun.
Yeah. Good times, man. Good memories.
Yeah.
Moving into the season that is upon us, really. When I think of you, I think specifically playing disc golf. Beginning of 2023, there was a lot of talk that you had a 2-year plan, and I'm going to
Hmm.
tour for 2 years. I'm going to see how it goes, and then I'm going to reevaluate. 2023, 2024. I look at your upcoming events on PDGA. Clearly, you're committing to another year of tour. So, talk to me about the 2-year plan, how it worked out for you, and maybe where this is going forward. Is it another 2 years? Where are you at?
Yeah. I don't know that yet. It's kind of funny. Obviously, the 2-year plan worked out well. Like
Yeah.
I'm touring again. I was actually talking with my wife, like, because I started at the end of 2022 and played terrible. I think I had one top 10, didn't play great, and I was asking my wife, like, we were just chatting one night, and I was like, "Did you think like I would get a win? Like, did you really think I could do that? Because I didn't know if I could do it. Like 2023,
Yeah.
I was like, I'll get a bunch of top tens. That's fine. I don't need a win."
Uh-huh.
She's like, "Yeah, I knew you would." And I was like, "How'd you know?" And she's like, "Well, because you played like crap in 2022 and didn't give up. Like you went back out on the road in 2023." And that's how I knew. And I was like, interesting. I never thought about that. But um,
Hmm.
yeah, I think, I'm definitely committed to this year. It's kind of going to be, uh, it's probably likely that I play 2026, but it's not like I'm not committing to
Yeah,
it.
yeah, yeah.
Um,
Mm-hmm.
it's going to depend on, when Em and I start our family. And,
Okay.
whenever that time happens, that'll be a reevaluate situation. Maybe I play half of 2026. I have no idea. I'm very excited to play this year. I feel really good about where I'm at with my game, and I'm itching to play. I mean, I haven't played a tournament since October, so I fly to Florida tomorrow, and yeah, I can't wait. But
Love
yeah,
it.
I don't know as far as I thinking about it, like, am I going to be touring in 2030? God, no way.
Yeah.
I would probably
Yep.
say max 2 more years, but
Yeah.
at this point, I'm kind of learning um, to to go with the flow a little bit. Like
Yeah.
whatever life's going to throw at me, I have no idea, and so I'm not gonna, I'm gonna leave doors open for me, but I'm not gonna make concrete plans.
Yeah. No, I love it. I respect it. Kind of just feel how it goes. All it takes is a streak of 5 or 6 rough tournaments in a row to like change a mindset real quick. Like I know how that goes.
Yeah.
Um, how's the body feeling? You mentioned that you were kind of ramping back up January, February. Where's your game at? Do you feel dialed? Are you going to have to like knock some rust off out in Florida over the next few days? Where you at?
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure I'll have to knock a little bit of rust off. I think body feels good. Game feels good. It's funny, the one thing that's taken a little while to come back is the C2 putts.
Oh, that's your
Um,
jam.
I
What?
know, and I'm confident they will, but inside the circle right now, I feel real good. And it's feeling better. Like every week, it
Hmm.
feels better than the previous week. But yeah, I mean, I'm not going to have a whole lot of expectations going into Florida. I think for me, like, I just want to go out there and have fun. First tournament back. Not a knock to NorCal golf, but the courses out here aren't the most challenging, and so I've been kind of
Yeah.
searching for ways to throw higher
Long.
level
Yeah.
shots, more difficult shots. There's no, OB out here or real danger of losing a disc or any of that. So, and trying to kind of emulate that just doesn't really work um,
Yeah.
so we'll see. I'm definitely looking forward to playing. Body feels good, forehand, backhand, all of that feels good. C1 putts feel good. Hopefully, I could see a C2 putt fall early in a round and then kind of get it rolling
Yeah.
from there. But
Yep.
um, yeah, I'm really just looking forward to competing again.
Awesome. No, love it. Can't wait to see you back out there. Do you have any? I mean, I asked this, but you just said that you're kind of gonna relinquish expectations. But do you have any goals for the season? Is there anything that you're like eyeballing, whether it's like 30,000 foot view or like right down on the ground level? I want another win. Where like do you go into a season with goals like that?
See, I don't know. That's a fun question. Honestly, like my main goals are to I would love just like the consistency piece. If I
Yeah.
can uh sort of cash at every event or, a handful of top 10s, top 20s. Like that's all I really want. I don't need, if I go out there and I don't win, I'm not going to be disappointed.
Yeah.
Um, like it was a failure of a season because I didn't, that's not really how I operate. Obviously, I would love to, but I think like the main goal for me is just put myself in contention. Like if I can be in
Yep.
contention last round 3 or 4 times next year, that's all. That would be sweet.
Get the
Um,
juices flowing. Finish. Yeah, I love it. Yep.
yeah, like I think there's only been 3 tournaments where I've been in contention, like with 9 holes to go, and that would be PCS 2023 when Paul beat me,
Mm-hmm.
and then the 2 this year. And so,
Wow.
you know, some more golf like that where it matters down the stretch would be super fun. Um, but yeah, I think my season's gonna be it's gonna be a lot of fun this year. I kind of built in some breaks, so hopefully to avoid some burnout and
That's good. You're
yeah, I
playing the
get to play a
Safari, right?
couple, get to play the Safari. Heck
Yeah.
yeah. I'm
Thank
looking
you
forward to
for
that.
moving me down one place in the standings. I
I'll be
appreciate
home
you.
like the entire month of June, which I'm super excited for. So
Good. Good.
yeah.
Um. So I should have done this research. I kind of was operating off an assumption, and now I'm worried I might be wrong. Are you an all star going into this year?
Yes.
Okay, great. That's what I thought. The All Star event this year has moved from like a 2 day kind of extravaganza last year in the rain, which is pretty miserable, to basically like a 1 day exhibition showcase. But the announcement was made, and I'm not sure if you saw this. Maybe you have, maybe you haven't. At the end of the year, they're doing
Hmm.
another All Star event that will essentially be the 2025 season.
Hmm.
Um, Thoughts on the shift in like what the All Star game is? I know they're going to be tying in awards and like a banquet gala style event to the end. Do you like it better as a warm up for the season or as like a maybe 2 weeks after Tour Championship cool down?
Um, you know, I think the coin flips both ways. I like it. I like the idea of it at the end of the season while that season's still kind of fresh.
Mm-hmm.
I think the switch is good. I think it's unfortunate. Like, I think the 2024 All-Stars are kind of getting shafted. It feels a little bit like an afterthought.
Yeah.
Um, you know, I think but at the other side of the coin, you know, when I am done with this 2025 season and I've played for 8 months and you know, DGPT champs is in Virginia and then I want to fly home, it's like, now do I got to fly back out to the East Coast for this?
Yeah.
Like at that point, I'm kind of ready to be done. And
Yeah,
so
everybody's tired.
it's like, geez, really? You know? Um, but I don't see a better way to do it. You know, I think a lot of, um, the one thing I do miss is I really enjoyed playing doubles. Like I think mixed doubles would be a lot of fun.
Yeah.
But someone pointed out that they already do a world's mixed doubles. Like mixed doubles has been done.
Yeah.
Playing with another all-star caliber MPO player, like that's something we never get to do. And I was Calvin's partner last year, and that was a ton of
That's
fun.
nice. Yeah.
And so I wish they would bring that back. And you know, I'm not sure what the format is, but yeah, I think the change was good. I just think it feels like the 2024 All Stars is kind of an afterthought.
I hear
But
that. It makes sense. Do you have any last year? So you were with Thought Space 2 years ago. You were with Thought Space Clash Infinite. Okay,
hmm
last year it was like Thought Space Infinite, and was it Alpha?
hmm
So what does the sponsorship look like this year? And is there going to be any new signature discs? Is there anything fresh on the horizon? And if we're just running it back, that's cool too. But what's like the signature series lineup looking like for you?
Yeah, I mean, so 2024 Thought Space and Infinite were like my
Yeah.
sort of title sponsors, right? They were the main two.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Alpha was sort of a side, smaller partnership. They're a lot smaller of a company.
Mm-hmm.
You know, they had some growing pains with some plastic sourcing in Norway.
Ugh.
And so coming into 2025, Infinite and ThoughtSpace still my title sponsors, and I'm still going to be working with Alpha a little bit. I'm going to be working with Stokely a little bit. We got a
Mm.
disc coming out,
Okay.
Flippy Fairway Driver, but he kind of approached me and was like, you know, hey, we're making these discs. We got some different plastics coming out. You know, your mixed bag. Can we put a name on your disc? And, you know, for me, it's like, shoot, sounds great. I mean, I know
Yeah.
knowing that man, he's going to promote it. He's going to,
Yeah.
you know, push it and sell it. And so he's going to be doing a lot of the dirty work for me. But, you know, so I just got to go out there and throw the disc. Like, that's fine with me. So,
Yeah.
yeah, excited to work with him. Got the grip bag going,
Oh yeah,
loving the
grip.
grip bag, so that'll be
Mm-hmm.
a nice change. And then yeah, I think you know, Infinite's gonna be the alpaca. I think I'm kind of
Alpacas don't miss.
pretty
Come on.
synonymous with the alpaca, and we got a good stamp going for this year. So
Good.
excited for that. Eric's gonna do the dynasty, so he kind of gave me the alpaca. I appreciate that. And then Dot Space has a lot of exciting things on the horizon. You know, their new partnership with Discraft, the
Mm-hmm.
Expanse was a pretty successful release, and there's a couple more. I think at least two, if not three more, that'll be coming out in 2025. One of them might have my name on it.
Ooh.
So yeah, that'll be fun. It's been fun, you know, getting to test different molds and which ones we want and what plastic, and uh, that's going to be a good partnership for Thought Space. So yeah, definitely some exciting things with that partnership.
Yeah, I was actually talking with Aaron recently, and he was talking about like discs that were having getting like laser finishing done on them, and like
hmm
maybe I'm just like out of the game, but that sounds futuristic, right? I'm like that. What is going on?
Yeah, it's something the laser polishing or whatever, and it's just
Yeah,
the feel. You know, I don't know too much about it, but
sounds cool though. I don't know.
I was standing there
Lasers are involved, dude. I want in.
when he and Bob were talking about it, and I'm like, didn't know this was part of the process, but
Yeah,
cool.
for real. I
You
know.
know, this feels good. What do you want me to say? But
Hey,
yeah, pretty cool.
um, well, like James, I appreciate your time hanging out with me. I know
Yeah.
it's like the day before you leave, so definitely appreciate it. That's pretty much I had for the main portion of the interview, but I have a couple of quick hitters, some
hmm
and ors to hit you with. We're coming off the Super Bowl, obviously hot topic. Kendrick or Drake?
Man, that's interesting. I've been a Drake guy for so long. I think he just, he just has such a huge,
Bangers. He has
uh,
hits.
he does. But I think, he's almost like more poppy. I think, some of Kendrick's
Yeah.
stuff, I think, all of the little intricacies of Kendrick's song were like really, really good. But honestly, if you're making me choose, I'll go the third option in this feud. I'll go J. Cole.
Oh, okay, okay. Alternate pick.
Yeah.
Um, uh, Ezra or Isaac, who ends up the year higher rated?
Oh,
Robinson
shoot.
brothers, obviously.
Player rating. Um, Interesting. They're both throwing new
Yeah.
plastic. I think, no knock on Ezra, but Isaac is so consistent, and I feel like his game, like figuring out a new bag will be easier for him. Um, I think Ezra gets a win before Isaac, maybe, I don't know.
Mm.
But I think Isaac might finish 1 point ahead of Ezra.
Okay,
Got to
okay,
give the
but
older
tight
brother the nod.
race.
Yeah,
Yeah,
tight
yeah, yeah,
race.
tight race. Luca or AD?
Oh man, I mean Luca all day just for the future of that franchise because I don't think they were doing anything in the next 2 to 3 years anyway.
Yeah.
Uh, yeah, so
And then
I'll go
thoughts on the
Luca.
trade as a bonus.
I mean, you can't like I don't think it works well, him and LeBron on the floor. Like I think AD was a better fit for their roster, but you can't pass up on that deal. The Mavericks guy
Yeah.
comes to you and says, "Hey, do you want Luca?" I'd give him whatever they wanted. So I think for the future of the franchise, I think, Luca all day.
Okay, and then last one before I get you out of here: Golden Gate Park or Stafford?
I go Stafford just because that's where I learned to
Oh,
play. That's where, that's, I think as good as Golden Gate Park is, if you're taking everything into consideration, Stafford's got a ton of variety. You pretty much always have the course to yourself.
yeah, that's a big.
I think the letter holes are getting pulled, so we
They're
don't have
gone.
as
They're already
many.
gone.
They're already gone.
They're gone.
Yeah, but that's like honestly, that's really tough, and those are both like in my top five for California courses.
Love it. From what I'm hearing, the letter holes are going to be back like for tournaments. Like they're not. The holes will still
Mm,
be there. They're just not in day to day. And
gotcha,
I think they're like Stafford Lake Pro Am will probably use them type of deal or like bag tags and stuff like that.
gotcha.
Um, but dude, thank you so much for your time. Really.
Yeah,
Before I get you out of here, how can the people follow you? Anything to hype up? Where are you at on Instagram? The floor is yours.
I don't even know what my Instagram handle is. James Proctor something. You can
Google
find it
me.
tagged in this somewhere. Um, yeah, I mean, Infinite Disc, they have everything you could want. They
Yeah.
have Thought Space, they have, Alpha, they'll have Stokely, they got the alpacas on there, and then obviously Thought Space for some sweet jerseys. And um, this hat, I got a JP hat, Infinite VIP store if you want the
Ooh,
exclusive apparel and stuff. They have some sweet stuff on there. So
love
yeah,
it. Well,
appreciate it.
again, appreciate the time. That is it for this interview. For all of you at home, if you would like interviews, round coverage, and so much more, make sure to subscribe to my old home and new Central Coast Disc Golf.